Theme 4 provides some background into how and why organizations are changing. We explored how organizations are affected by increasing globalization and the continuation of labor market shifts thanks to technology and things like remote work. These factors, globalization, technology, labor market shifts, and remote work, are the driving change in work and organizational practice, which impacts employee identity, workplace culture, and even inequality. As these factors continue to change the way we do business, we need to ensure that we can adapt our behaviors to keep up with these transformations. Because work and organizational practice adapt to these factors, those in search of new or better opportunities must also adapt. Theme 5 covers the effects of expanding forms of employment like temping, freelancing, and the outsourcing of jobs, and how they affect both workers and the organizations they belong to. These forms of employment are categorically different from traditional full-time employment models, which unequally benefit some while leaving others behind. Theme 5 invites students to understand how race, gender, class, and even where they're located in the world can impact how their employment can be affected by these forms of work. For a potential employee to stand out, Theme 5 asks students to examine what skills they have and what skills they need to develop so that they can become or remain leading candidates for a job they would like to have. In Theme 4's Module 10, we examined how technology is changing our structures of work. As AI becomes more ubiquitous in our world, we must either harness the technology or be made redundant, not because of any monstrous specter that will push us out of our work, but so that we can ensure that technology is being applied in a way that's effective and makes our work more meaningful and important. While some jobs are safe from job loss, others are more affected by this technology. Kristalina Georgieva of the IMF blog explains that while half of AI-exposed jobs will benefit by the integration of AI in their work, the other half will lose work because AI can execute some key tasks instead of humans. Kristalina says that this can lead to lower labor demand, which drives lower wages and reduces hiring. Most of the jobs affected by AI can be found in developed countries or professional white-collar work. This showcases how technology impacts labor market shifts and how this changes how organizations are structured. The very structures of work are changing. This impacts motivation, inequality, and even the meaning of work. We are moving towards an AI-based economy where routine, rule-based tasks are increasingly completed by technology instead of actual human workers. Theme 4's Module 12 explores how the gig economy is part of a changing organizational structure, which includes temping, freelancing, and often outsourcing. This affects workers and organizations they belong to. The article, The Gig Economy is Booming, but Is It Fair Work? From the World Economic Forum, highlights how gig work offers flexibility, autonomy, and has low entry barriers. However, it also raises questions around worker protections, job security, and the role of technology. The gig economy provides flexible earning opportunities. However, such flexibility may be the dark underside of a deeper problem, the fact that workers across the globe are on the quest for a side hustle to supplement their income. Theme 4's overall motif includes information on how organizations are changing, which includes technology and AI, remote work, digital nomads, and work organization. As technology continues to transform the workplace, it's important to note that we must be faithful to our obligations to one another as human beings. Because simple tasks can be automated, the potential for enormous job loss is present. Kristalina of the IMF blog identifies ways we can prevent increasing inequality by establishing comprehensive social safety nets and other retraining programs for vulnerable workers. In doing so, we can make the AI transition more inclusive, protecting livelihoods and curb inequality. This is especially important for precarious workers who often find themselves engaging in gig work to supplement their income. As their traditional forms of employment dwindle due to AI, workers may become more dependent on their gig work. This relates to the importance of making gig work good work. Workers, or taskers as they call themselves in the Verge article, AI is a lot of work, are the people behind the seemingly faceless AI. These are the people who work without schedules, who don't know their colleagues, their bosses, or even what the material they are working on is even for. Their work is tedious and repetitive, and the output they provide, AI large language models, is used by other professionals, sometimes across the globe. AI's integration in these professional jobs may make the roles more alien, more isolating, and more tedious. As organizations are changing due to technological improvements, they are also increasingly relying on non standard forms of work, like those found in the gig economy. The gig economy can be a place for equity. It can foster increased gender inclusion in the workforce. After all, a more flexible work schedule can afford women who would otherwise be left out of the workforce a place to earn income of their own. However, as Kristalina mentioned, that safety nets are crucial for imparting equality on a changing workplace landscape. We need safety nets for gig workers as well. In the 2020 ORF issue brief, Gender and the Gig Economy, the author Ria Kaziwal advises that gig workers must be categorized in a better position so that they can benefit from the same advantages as an employee of the company, especially when their work and time is just as important as an employee. The value technology and workers bring to organizations is undebatable. Therefore, we must place protection systems in place so that no individual is left behind while others unfairly gain from these changes in organizations and how work is structured. Thank you so much for your time and have a very happy holiday.